Hi, in this video I'm going to teach you how to calculate the drawdown of a portfolio in a single cell. But first let's understand what is a drawdown. As an investor, the value of your portfolio would keep going up and down. A maximum drawdown is the maximum loss you might have suffered between any 2 points in time in your portfolio history. So sometimes the value could have gone from, let's say, 1000 to 10,000, and from 10,000, let's say it's come down to 7,000, and it again goes up to 12,000. So the fall between 10 to 7, 3,000 is a drawdown for us. Now how do we calculate this drawdown? But firstly, let's try to understand this with a small set of data. So here, if you look at it, I have data points of a share price moving from 95 to 91.2, then 98, 105, 101. Now one thing we have to keep in mind is drawdown is not the maximum minus minimum price. Because my minimum here is 91.2, maximum is 105, but it's not like I sold at 91.2 and bought subsequently at 105, right? So we're going to keep, or rather we're going to compare a peak with a subsequent trough. So how do we do it? One way to do it is look at the price of a stock and see how much has it fallen from all prior days. So we are going to create a combination. So 101 is the price on day 5. If I had bought the stock on day 4, my loss would be 101 minus 105, that is 4. So if I bought this on day 3 and sold it on day 5, my profit would be 3. Bought it on day 2 and sold it on day 5, it's 9.8. So I'm going to create a combination for all pairs, different buy dates and different sell dates. Only thing is the buy date is going to come before the sell date. So here I'm calculating this, and you notice that when we do this, this is essentially going to look like a pyramid for us. The reason is we are going to compare the day of purchase, subsequently day of sales. So for day 5, I could have bought it on any of the previous 4 days. For day 4, it's only the previous 3 days. So it in fact looks like a triangle, not a pyramid. So once we get this triangle, what we can do is simply take minimum of this. That's my drawdown. So the minimum here is the 4 rupee loss between day 4 and day 5. That's the worst that has happened. And this is going to give me my drawdown. It's possible that one of these days the share price, let's say, went to 108 on, let's say, day 3 and came down to 101 on day 5. If that be the case, my worst is, what if I bought on day 3 and sold it on day 5? That's a 7 rupee loss. That's the worst. And that's what our drawdown gives. Now what we need to do is, we need to be able to do this math in a single cell. How do we do this? Now this is only one of the various options. This option I'm going to teach you is a matrix based option. This can be done within one single cell, but the problem is this is less efficient. We will talk about both the approaches. First, let's talk about this approach, matrix. So what have I done here? So for all the dates in the horizontal axis, these 1, 2, 3, 4 are the dates in which I bought, and the vertical axis are the dates in which I sold. And we did the math wherever the date of sale is greater than the date of purchase. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to put this in a single cell like this. If we want to do the calculation only if these days are greater than the date of purchase. Only thing is the date of purchase has to be horizontal. How do we get that? I'm going to put it as greater than transpose of same B5 to B9. So the dates of sale, I'm comparing it with my horizontal axis, and how do I take it to horizontal? Transpose. If it's greater, then what is our answer? My purchase price, which is right here, or rather selling price. The vertical, I'm going to assume that these are the dates in which I sold, minus all the prior purchase prices, which is transpose of the same thing. If you look at it, that's precisely what we did in each of these calculations. I took 101, compared it with 105. So 101 minus 105. So 101 is my selling price, 105 is my buying price. And rather than creating it as a matrix, I have done it within the cell. Now take this data. What if this condition is not satisfied? Then that means I don't want to do the calculation. It's going to be comma 0. Let me close it. So I've got the matrix here. Now of course we don't want the matrix, we only want the final answer. So what did we do here to get the drawdown earlier? I use the min function. That's what I'm going to do here. Equals min of this entire section. In one single cell I got the data and I didn't need to work with this entire matrix. That was unnecessary for us. If you're using the older version and not Office 365, then this will not automatically produce result. You have to enclose it within the sum product function, because if you were to handle arrays and matrix and vectors, you had to use sum product in the older version. But if you're using Office 365, we are fine. Now let's see this being applied in a real life scenario. So in the Nifty sheet, what I have is, I have the Nifty prices. This is obtained as a dynamic array. And what I'm going to do is like what I did here, equals min of if, check whether these days are greater than transpose of the dates. If yes, what we need, the prices minus transpose of the prices. Else, comma 0. So I've got my answer 3570. Those of you who followed my quiz that I kept on Thursday or Wednesday, I don't remember actually. So you know that this is the answer. My peak fall was between 12,168 on 1st of December 2019 and 1st March 2020. This is where the stock fell drastically, the Nifty, and this difference is what we are getting captured here. Now what is the problem with this algorithm? The problem with this algorithm is this creates a matrix, right? Or it creates a triangle which is going to be almost n square by 2. So if you had, or rather n minus 1 square by 2, if you had 10 lines, you would have around 10, it creates a matrix 10 into 10 which is 100, and if you ignore half the dates which are above your date of sales, you still have around 50 calculations happening. So if you're dealing with 1000 dates, right, it's going to create a matrix of 1000 square by 2. I mean, it's going to create a matrix of 1000 square. A triangle is going to be 1000 square by 2. That's a lots and lots of calculations. Let's just see here. So what I'm going to do is, let me comment out this formula first. I'm going to increase my data size here. I'm going to change the frequency of the data to 0, which is daily data. And let me even make the starting point as 1st January, July 2001. That's a pretty large data set. Now in this data set, if I try to apply this drawdown calculation, it's going to take its own time. You will see that I pressed enter and it's still running around. I don't know, hopefully the calculation will happen. It's just taking time, right? You saw, it's not really something that you can work with. So what is the alternative? The alternative is to do it iteratively. In the meanwhile, let me also quickly tell you, we are working with amounts here, but in real life what we may want to do is percentages. Because when I had the amounts earlier, we saw 4 rupee fall on between day 4 and day 5 was the biggest fall, but percentage wise this 4 rupee fall is actually less than 4%. It's around 3%, less than 4%. But day 2 versus day 1, a 3.8 fall was a much bigger fall. It's a 4% fall. So when we are working on these things, we may want to look at percentages. In that case, the way our formula is going to change is, instead of taking current price minus the buy price, we're going to put as current price divided by buy price. And once you get the final answer, you can minus 1 from it. That will give us a sense of proportion here, right? Sorry, current price, I should have put it inside the min function here, minus 1. So this is what I could have done and I would have got the answer. So now how are we going to do this with the other approach? Matrix approach we talked about. Let's talk about the iterative approach. So firstly, what we are going to do is, we are going to find out what is the percentage fall. If you are looking at percentage, if you are looking at absolute amount, you find the difference between current price and previous price. So let me first work with absolute numbers for now. So first I'm going to get the difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it as current price minus the previous price. Right? I've got this data. And we are going to look at cumulative current prices. Let me again change the data to what we originally had, 1st July 2019 to 31st December 2020 on a monthly basis. And now I'm going to have running total of this difference. So on day 1 it is 0. So I'm going to get the running total of difference. So which means we are essentially calculating cumulative losses. What we want is essentially losses, maximum losses. So I am going to calculate these cumulative losses, and wherever the accumulation goes to profit, I want to ignore the profit, and therefore what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this number I only want to track cumulative losses, not the profits. So it's going to be minimum of 0, E13 plus D14 and close the bracket. So here it is tracking my cumulative losses. Wherever we went into profit zone, that was made into 0. And now the worst of this accumulated value, the lowest of this is going to be our drawdown. I hope you learned something useful again. Thank you once again and see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.